Go to the job interview with a ring on your wedding finger. It doesn't matter what it is. This is a regular band. Put it on. Okay? You married.
So she was making $40K, but as soon as she switched up wearing that fake wedding ring and they thought she was married, within 4 years she was making $70K. It worked 100%. So this woman said that's what she did. She wore the fake wedding ring and she got the job. And block every coworker and manager on social media once you get hired, and set your socials to friends only. Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. I had to share this video with you because the links that women have to go through because of our society that has such a big problem with being in the business of women who are not married, getting offended if you are not married, questioning why aren't you married, not respecting you if you're not married. This woman said, look, you have to go get a fake wedding ring. Go to JCPenney, go to TikTok Shop, go to Kmart, order it on eBay, whatever, okay? A decent looking fake wedding ring, and wear this ring on a job interview at the job while you are working. So let's see what she is saying about this. And I'm going to read to you the comments of women who have done this and why they're saying you have to pretend and fake that you are a married woman on a job interview and when you are working still. Even make up having kids in some cases. So let's get into this.
Go to the job interview with a ring on your wedding finger. It doesn't matter what it is. This is a regular band. Put it on. Okay? You married. You got something like this at home? Got something like that at home? Put it on. Look at that. Put it on. You married. Okay, they don't ask you that while you being interviewed. You married. You got something like this at home? Got something like that? Put it on. You married, okay? Go to the store. Go invest in you something. Okay? Go get you something. Put it on. You engaged. Put it on. They selling them all over TikTok, I'm sure. Go to you a pawn shop. That's where I got this from. Put it on. It was an engagement ring and a wedding ring that was soldered together, and I was thirsty to get married. I didn't have nobody on the books for that, so I bought my own ring, okay? Get it. It doesn't matter. It's a ring. Bless it if you need to because somebody sold it. But the point is, get the ring. Put it on your finger. This was part of a 3 ring. I had this cut off and closed up because I wanted to wear it separately. Doesn't matter. Look at that. Look just like a wedding band, don't it? It's not. It's not a wedding band. Get the ring. Put it on the ring finger for the interview. You will thank me later. Gossip. You will keep gossip down, and they won't be expecting you to be fraternizing with nobody because you already married. Thank me later.
Okay, so look, she didn't say much, but she said you will thank her later. Get a fake wedding band for this job interview, okay? So a lot of women had never heard about doing this. And they're like, well, why do I have to pretend that I'm married? Why do I have to lie and tell the recruiters or, the people on the job that I'm a whole married woman? Besides the typical, oh, you're trying to maybe keep some men away type of thing in some cases like that. But let me read to you now the comments about why you need to pretend that you are a whole married woman when going in for a job interview, as well as what colors you should wear to get the job and to get respect. Okay, so this person says you'll also be promoted faster when they think you are married. Wear glasses, wear blue, and wear a wedding ring and carry a clipboard with a notebook and take notes, okay? Wear glasses, wear blue and a wedding ring and have a clipboard. Straight from Google, you should wear blue to an interview because it conveys trust, confidence, and being professional. It's a highly recommended color for interviews because it often is associated with reliability, stability, and calmness, which can be pros. Okay, so this woman said, okay, I'm going to go buy a blue dress shirt as soon as possible, and a cardigan. Okay. Wow. Agreed. Married women get more respect. Another tip, male bosses, they never question me when I tell them that my husband won't let me work overtime for certain shifts. So if you don't want to be worked like a dog and you don't want those hours, she says, just make it up. My husband won't allow it. He won't let me do it. Okay. I got tired of being asked to cover for people who are married with kids. I am now engaged with a foster kid. No, I can't share pictures because I have to maintain their privacy. Basically, she's making this up. She said she got tired of having to work shifts for married people with children. So she has made up that she's now an engaged woman with a foster child. Okay. She says, I say engage. So when I take a 2-week vacation, no one questions it. Okay. I wear a wedding ring and glasses. For some reason, when you wear glasses, it's an illusion that you're smart. I always get called back for the job. I go to my doctor's appointment in hospital with a fake one, a fake wedding ring. They seem to not care. They seem to care about you more when you are married. This is absolutely disgusting. Why does it matter if I am married or not? Why would that make me more important to you? Or I should be treated more respectfully because, I got a man wifed me up. Doesn't matter if my marriage is miserable and all of that. Oh, she's a married woman, but they're saying this is what you got to do out here, okay? The treatment is different. I wore a fake engagement ring and I told people I was engaged at one of my last jobs. They stopped asking me to work late and they were nicer to me. Oh my goodness. I think it's because they think that you're married, you have a family to support, and you won't be unreliable and untrustworthy with their company. Yes, 100%. And your husband is an employment lawyer. If anyone asks, my husband is an employment lawyer. There's a whole Chinese drama where a girl pretends to be married with kids so she can advance her career. Thanks for this tip. Married with kids, I have 2 dogs and 4 living grandparents. Did I miss anything? They need this illusion of perfection. The American dream perfection. I'm married with dogs and I have a happy family. Kohl's has some very beautiful and reasonable wedding rings out here. That's where I got mine. Yep, but don't buy anything too flashy because it will make them kind of judge you. They think you don't need the income as much as someone else. Isn't this disgusting? Oh, she has this fancy wedding ring, so she's not broke or poor. My nana used to buy things. Hold on. My nana used to buy us rings that looked good when stacked. So it looked like we were wearing an engagement ring for our wedding band on top of it. She taught us that we'd get treated differently in the workplace if people thought we were married. I did. I bought a cheap $9 ring from the hair store and I got the job. Okay, do it when you go to the doctor too. If the doctor says something, ghastly, ask if you can have your husband come in to further discuss it, or tell them you're asking because your husband has noticed your symptoms. The whole situation will change. The wedding ring also indicates a dual salary, and they consider it when deciding on the offer. My advice is not to wear the ring, married or not, during the interview, but do wear the ring, married or not, at work after you get the job. But many people are saying, no, you need to wear it for the interview so they'll hire you. But she's saying, don't do that. Okay. See, this is why people are choosing to work for themselves, because the workplace is toxic as A. Folks are too invested in digging into their employees and their coworkers' personal business. The whole time it's the married employees that go to work searching for their new work or wife husband. Great advice. I was going to sell my wedding ring after a divorce, but I kept it because it makes me look expensive when needed. It also helps with getting lower quotes from handymen for home projects. Can you believe this? I can, but it's like, wow. People have treated me better as a cashier because they see the promise ring my boyfriend gave me. They mistake it as an engagement ring, but I never correct them. Men don't do business with other men that aren't married. It shows you can get along with at least one person long enough for them to commit to you. You have a lot of wedding rings, Mrs. Ma'am, and here I am just wanting one. A lot of wedding rings, excuse me. I had a hiring manager ask me straight up to my face, why wasn't I married? None of your damn business. Who are you? She said, geez, none of your business. Yeah, who are you to ask me why I'm not married? What if I were to say I don't want to be married, or I haven't met the one, so I'm not married? But I would feel, could I sue? Like, now you're overstepping your boundaries. You don't get to ask me why I'm not married. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. I wonder if I could sue for that. Okay, so that's too much work. How about they just stay out of my business and leave me alone and, just focus on work-related things, okay? I am married, but the next job I have, I'm telling them I have kids. I'm going to be 40 next year, and I'm tired. I'm tired of not having the same excuses all these other people have for taking time off of work for stuff. I have to ask my son to school, so I can't be early. Yeah. I have to leave early to take my daughter to the doctor. That's what she says she's going to start saying. Wear a wedding band when you are traveling alone. Yeah, because the traffickers and everything, they might not want to target you. They're like, oh, she's a whole married woman. Okay, that's the same thing I just said right there. As a 49-year-old woman who has never been married, I 100% wear a ring on my wedding finger when I go to work events. My status doesn't need to be a part of any conversation, and I know it sucks, but people judge if you're a certain age and you're not married. Unless you are under 30, they assume you will be getting pregnant and won't hire you. Honestly, a lot of employers like to hire single women with no kids because they assume you won't have many distractions when it comes to your job and you're more readily available. Unfortunately, this will not work for us in the islands in Jamaica. Those male bosses will ask you if your husband won't allow you to have friends. LOL. I understand this. When I was younger, I went through the craziness of being accused of dating my coworkers or being liked more. I'm married now. Okay, she's making that up. She's not really married. Okay, I say come up with children too. Make sure they know you know about drop-offs and pickups and projects. They love that. They don't want to hear that you're just sitting at home taking care of yourself. Why is it your business? What is society's problem with bothering women who are not married? And why can't they accept the truth? If women just said, look, I didn't meet the one, I didn't get picked. I did not meet a man I was compatible enough to be my husband. It just don't work out for everybody that way. And that's okay. Like, why can't they get over it? Like, why can't they accept that? Do they bother men about why aren't you married? Why are you worried about if I'm being picked or not or chosen? Why does that bother you and why is that your business? It makes no sense to me, And then you'll even have men who will ask that question. It's like, but you're not married either. So why are you questioning me about my relationship status and you are a single man? Why are you single? So, okay, and some people just don't feel like being bothered or care. Not everyone cares like everybody. Okay, so 100% facts. I bought a ring off of here with, 100% facts. I bought a ring off something with in healthcare. It didn't do well in the glove, so I put it on my badge. I get so many compliments and assumptions about my husband, my fake husband. I did this once, and then my manager was surprised I wasn't, in fact, married. And I said, I never told you that, you just made assumptions. I did this when I was when I was a criminal defense attorney. The prosecutor was always a man with a wedding ring. This may backfire. Singles are free to work long hours. Marrieds typically are not available to go the extra mile. I disagree. Just the opposite, because they have a family to provide for and they are willing to work more hours. Of course, it depends upon the employee. My thing is, it doesn't matter. If I don't want to work longer hours, I don't want to work longer hours. You don't get to use me and do all this to me just because, oh, well, you don't have kids. So what? My time is still valuable. If I don't want to, I don't want to. And if I do, I will. Okay? Okay, these comments are amazing, though. I love seeing all this stuff, this different information, what's going on. This is so interesting because when I was doing an interview, my CEO looked at my engagement ring. I certainly do wear one, and I'm single, especially on job interviews. It's actually the opposite. I take mine off because I notice that I get paid more money as a single woman. When they see the ring, you are married, and they think that maybe you have more money. I know my boomer coworkers look down on me for being single. My manager's daughter, who's my age, just got engaged and moved in with her fiance. I'm seen as unserious to them, entry level only, even though I've been supporting my team for 4 years. Unfortunate, my job is a women-owned and advocate, but still doesn't work around my kid's schedule. Okay. She ain't write that good. Okay, let's see. This is true. When I'm single, I'm always told. Okay, this is true. When I'm single, I always told them I was married and had a ring, and nobody ever bothered me. But when I showed up without my ring and told them I was single, I was constantly harassed by other women that had authority. Oh my goodness. And when you're getting hired, let them know you're getting married and will need maybe a week off for your wedding and honeymoon. No one says no to that, and they don't make you use sick days because it's agreed on before hiring. My husband and I are living in 2 homes for the last year and getting a divorce. As far as my coworkers know, I am happily married, living under one roof. I might be late, but I thought the wedding hand was the left hand. That's where you put the ring, that she's saying the left hand. It worked 100%. So this woman said that's what she did. She wore the fake wedding ring and she got the job. She says, congratulations. Okay, I'm happy that it worked. I do this when I have jury trials. For some reason, the jurors are more responsive when I wear a wedding ring than other times. Correlation is not causation, but the feedback and the receptiveness. Okay. They also favor you if you appear to be married, because marriage usually means getting a mortgage and having kids, which means responsibilities, which means you'll be showing up on time for work every day to keep your job so you can stick to your commitments and everything. It's true. Once I started wearing my fake wedding ring, I got more respect and better customer service for some reason. I tested this at the doctor's office, and it actually, well, I was treated much different. I was treated with more care, and they acknowledged that I was married. I was out of work for years, and until I got engaged. My next interview, I had the ring on, I landed the job, and my entire career changed. I went from $10 an hour, and she went to making $40K. Then in 4 years, I was making $70K. Mind you, before I had lost my job, I never made this much. So she was making $40K, But as soon as she switched up wearing that fake wedding ring and they thought she was married, within 4 years, she was making 70K. All my coworkers with husbands and children got so many extra considerations, no blame on them, and I was often forced to cover their shifts and stay late. I wish I had lied and said that I was married. Married people are often seen as more stationary, while single people are viewed as more flexible and open to possibilities. In the end, it's really a control thing overall. Also, they'll know not to play with you because your husband said you can quit any day if you want. She's 100% correct. Wear the ring, the glasses, and take notes. Ask questions at the end of the interview. Google the company. Don't be afraid to ask what are the benefits, what are the salaries, and everything. You're here for a job, not to be a volunteer. Be ready to state your weaknesses and your growth goals. They always ask that too. I always say some random thing like I'm learning how to do spreadsheets better and stuff like that. Okay, yes, I bought myself a ring earlier this year. I thought I was the only one. Okay, I think I have maybe 4 more comments to show. And block every coworker and manager on social media once you get hired and set your socials to friends only. So true. I've been engaged allegedly for 4 years now. This is wild because I read a statistic that married women don't get jobs or raises because they're more likely to be seen as leaving their jobs to start a family. Y'all do the experiment. Do the experiment and see if this really works. I'm about to make up a fake family for my next job. Not too much more. Hold on. Not too much. The more children you have, the last time you have available to work, if you know what I mean. You will have to call out for your kid being sick and all that kind of stuff. So don't go overboard with the amount of kids that you have. Okay, so... And the last comment says, yes, I do this for meetings, for interviews, for events, anywhere I will need to be respected because being prejudiced against single women is a real thing. Can y'all believe this? Can you believe this? I can believe it, but wow, I'm like, wow. So a lot of the women that we're seeing with these engagement rings, these wedding rings at jobs, cashiers, they might not really be married, but it's not anyone's business to ask, are you really married? Where's your husband? This and that. I mean, it's just... Things are sort of changing a little bit. But yeah, we see it changing. You sort of see it changing because there's such a growing number of women who don't want to be married. A very growing number of women who are child-free by choice and child-free by circumstance. Me personally, though, I've never questioned a woman if she was married or not. I never looked at a woman's ring who was a cashier or someone I worked with and questioned her about her marriage or her husband. I've never felt bothered if a woman was married or not. I never felt like I had to treat her with more respect versus a single woman. I mean, are you a good person or not? I don't care if you're married. What makes you more better than the next woman? You know, I don't care that, oh, well, so you got chosen. You got picked, so that means that you're more deserving of respect type of thing. Now, I sort of can see how they might think, oh, she does have a husband. She probably got kids. I can't keep her working overtime. She got to go home to her husband. That makes sense. But you do have some married women who are married who don't mind working overtime. Sometimes the man is not making as much money and they need money for the household. So I can see where people might make those assumptions like, oh, well, you're single, you can work. But I don't have to do the extra hours or someone else's job if it's not my job. You know, my duties and stuff is not my job. Because some jobs do that. They'll try to make you do the next coworker's job and stuff and not even pay you more extra for it. So yeah, some women said, look, I just got tired of it. I'm tired of covering their shifts. I'm tired of being treated with disrespect by the women in authority and the men. No, I am now a married woman. Okay, now someone had brung up that they can't do this in Germany or some country like that. They said because when it comes for looking up something that they'll see if it really says Mrs. or not and all this other stuff. But I mean, it's working for a number of women. Some of them said, I did this and I did get the job. They also brung up you need to wear blue. Wear a blue dress shirt for this interview. And usually for a job interview, you know, they'll say wear your classic little black dress or a white button up top. But now they're saying no, blue. Something about the color blue, again, that just calms people, shows confidence. And it's a color that both men and women love, blue. And I actually have a cute little blue periwinkle type of blue dress blouse top. So she says, just look, it doesn't matter where you buy the ring. One woman said, look, I have a $9 ring. I think she said she got it from the beauty supply store. I'm not sure. And they said, make sure it's not too flashy though, because then they'll assume that you have a lot of money and that you're being taken care of and you don't really have to get paid well because you have this ring. And you will be shocked at how many people are watching you on the job, and are jealous of you and make assumptions about you. And I said in another video that you'll have people always questioning you about your love life. So are you dating anyone? Well, it's none of your business. Don't ask me about my love life. That's none of your business. Okay. It's just not. Okay. If I don't feel like discussing it, I don't feel like discussing it. And yeah, they'll look at the ring. I actually know someone. She bought herself beautiful jewelry, real jewelry, and one of her coworkers grabbed her hand and said, oh, so this is why you're always working so much. I see where your money is going. I'm like, and she said, no, baby, my husband bought me this ring. And this woman actually had the audacity to, she was an authority, and she stopped her from getting work after she said, my husband bought me this. And he actually did buy her that. And she got so pissed off finding out that her husband had bought her real jewelry, a real, the ring. So you have people who are jealous and who are watching you or think, oh, I can respect you more. You're part of the married woman club. You got kids. In some cases, married women don't even have kids, but they assume you have kids or you want to have kids because you got married. And people just need to stop making assumptions and treat all people with respect, no matter what their relationship status is, because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they chose to be single by choice or they just are having bad luck in the dating department and they just don't care anymore. They're here to do a job. Let me do my work and then I'm going home. Okay. And then you'll have people who will try to set you up with people. And it's like, in some cases, you might have to just tell them, look, stop bothering me about it. I don't want to date anyone right now. I'm not looking for that. Or if they assume what type of man that you want, and then you have to tell them, I don't date such and such type of man. Oh my God, they might get really pissed type of thing, especially if you don't want to date one of their friends. It might be their husband's cousin or best friend or something, and you might not like him, and you tell them, this is not my type. I don't date this. Then you'll have something else, and they might bother you on the job. It's just, you'll be shocked how petty coworkers can be when it comes to relationships and things like that. So look, everybody, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you think. Are you going to go out now and buy a fake wedding ring? And when you get an interview, are you going to wear that wedding ring? Wear that blue shirt, bring your note clipboard, have your questions ready and all of that. Maybe even lie and say you got 2 or 3 kids. Someone said though, oh, don't put the wedding ring on for the interview. Wear it after you get the job. But a lot of people are saying, no, you need to wear it so you get the job. Have any of you done this before? And has it worked for you? I cannot wait to hear the comments about this. I cannot wait. This is going to be something. So if you subscribe, hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live and when I'm uploading. All right. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.